You thought part one was crazy? Welcome to part two of the dumbest holiday decisions in history. Today, we're watching a relationship implode over art supplies, a drone destroy a mom's haircut, and a prank involving an angle grinder that cost $800. From vacuuming live fire to a Grinch impersonation that ended in a concussion, these people are proof that common sense takes a holiday in December. Buckle up, it's about to get chaotic. Number one. First up, let's talk about a relationship disaster that honestly sounds like a plot from a bad soap opera. I call this one the art of deception. So, there was this guy, let's call him Mark. Mark wanted to be the perfect boyfriend. His girlfriend had been telling him for months that she was taking evening art classes. She would disappear for hours every Tuesday and Thursday, coming home tired but inspired. Mark, being a supportive partner, decided to go all out for Christmas. He didn't just buy her a sketchbook. No, he spent months researching professional-grade supplies. He bought expensive oil paints, a high-end easel, premium canvases, and those brushes that cost like $20 a pop. He spent a fortune. Christmas morning comes. He is beaming. He hands her this massive, beautifully wrapped collection of art supplies. He expects her to be thrilled. Instead, she opens the box, sees the paints, and her face goes pale. Then she bursts into tears. Mark is confused. He's thinking, is she overwhelmed by my generosity? Nope. She is overwhelmed by guilt. She freaks out, grabs her keys, runs out of the house, jumps in her car, and speeds off. In her panic, she almost smashes into the neighbor's brick wall. Mark spends the next 8 hours driving around in the snow looking for her, terrified that she's hurt. When he finally tracks her down, the truth comes out. There was no art class. The painting lessons were actually hotel meetings with a married man. The reason she cried wasn't gratitude. It was because the gift was a physical reminder of her lies. So, Mark spent hundreds of dollars to find out he was single. The moral of the story? If your partner never shows you their drawings, maybe don't buy them an easel. Buy a private investigator instead. Number two. Speaking of relationships ending instantly, let's move on to a prank that backfired so hard it should be illegal. I'm talking about the fake lottery ticket. I don't know who invented these prank tickets, but they are pure evil. They look exactly like the real scratch-offs you get at the gas station. So this guy decides to put one in his girlfriend's stocking. He thinks it'll be hilarious. She scratches it off. The first number matches, then the second, then the third. Suddenly, the ticket says she won $50,000. Now, pause for a second. Imagine you just won 50 grand. What goes through your mind? For this girl, it wasn't buying a new purse or a vacation. She immediately started crying tears of joy. She grabbed her phone and called her mom. She was screaming, "Mom, we can finally pay for your surgery. We can pay off the medical debt." The boyfriend is standing there, recording this on his phone, and his smile slowly disappears. He realizes he is messed up. Big time. He has to stop her. He has to say, "Babe, hang up the phone. It's a joke. It's a prank ticket from Amazon." The silence that followed was probably loud enough to shatter glass. She didn't laugh. She didn't hit him playfully. She stared at him with dead eyes, hung up on her mom, and ended the relationship right there on the spot. She packed a bag and left. And honestly, I'm on her side. There are dumb pranks, and then there is playing with people's hope. If you pull this stunt, you don't deserve a girlfriend. You deserve a lump of coal and a slap in the face. Number 3. Okay, let's shift gears from emotional damage to physical property damage. This next one is a masterpiece of man logic. Let's call it the hole in the ceiling. We've all bought a Christmas tree that was a little too big. It happens. You bring it inside, stand it up, and the top bends against the ceiling. A normal person would take the tree down, get a saw, and cut 6 inches off the trunk at the bottom. It takes 10 minutes. Simple, but not this genius. This man looked at the tree, then looked at the ceiling and thought, you know what would be funny? What if I cut a hole in the house instead? I am not joking. He got his power tools, climbed a ladder, and cut a circular hole right through the drywall of the living room ceiling. He pushed the top of the tree through, so the star was poking out into the bedroom on the 2nd floor. He thought this was the coolest, most creative idea ever. Look, honey, it's a 2-story tree. Here is what he didn't think about. 1, he cut through the vapor barrier and insulation. So now freezing cold air from the attic is pouring into the living room. 2, he didn't check for wires. He nicked an electrical line, sparking a short circuit that killed the power to half the house. And 3, drywall repair is expensive. So instead of a festive joke, they spent Christmas in the dark, shivering, with a $5,000 repair bill waiting for them in January. All because he was too lazy to cut a piece of wood. Number 4. But hey, at least he didn't set the house on fire, unlike our next hero. This brings us to the vacuum cleaner inferno. This happens when you combine panic cleaning with zero knowledge of physics. It's Christmas Eve. Guests are arriving in 15 minutes. The house looks okay, but the fireplace is a mess. There's a pile of ash from the fire the night before. The host thinks, I need to clean this up fast. He grabs the regular household vacuum cleaner, the plastic one with the bag inside. He sticks the hose into the fireplace and sucks up all the ash. He feels accomplished. But here is the catch. Ash stays hot for days. It might look gray and dead, but there are tiny, glowing embers hidden inside. So he sucks these hot embers into a plastic bag surrounded by dust and high-speed oxygen. It is basically a jet engine for fire. Within seconds, the vacuum starts making a weird noise. Then smoke starts pouring out of the exhaust. And not just smoke, soot. The filter melts and the vacuum shoots a cloud of black, greasy ash all over the room. The white carpet, black. The white sofa, black. The curtains, ruined. The vacuum literally catches fire in the middle of the living room. So now, instead of a cozy host welcoming guests, he is running outside with a flaming appliance while his wife cries over the ruined furniture. If you want to clean a fireplace, use a shovel. If you use a vacuum, you are basically asking Santa for arson. Number 5. Now, we have to talk about the classic office party disaster. You have seen it in movies, but let me assure you, people are dumb enough to do it in real life. The But Xerox. It's the company Christmas party. The open bar has been open for too long. Gary from accounting has had 5 tequilas. He wanders over to the copy machine. He thinks, you know what would be a legendary joke? If I photocopied my rear end? It's a cliche for a reason. Gary drops his pants and hops up onto the glass scanner bed. He presses the copy button. Everyone is laughing. Gary is laughing. But here is a fun fact about photocopiers. That glass is not a chair. It is not designed to support the weight of a grown man. Crack! The glass shatters instantly. Gary falls through into the machinery. Now, not only is the expensive printer destroyed, but Gary has shards of glass stuck in his sitting area. The laughter stops immediately. The music stops. The night ends with an ambulance ride, Stitch in a very uncomfortable place, and the most awkward conversation with HR in history. The security footage of Gary falling into the copier became a legend at the company. But Gary wasn't there to see it because he was fired before he even got out of the hospital. Plus, the company deducted the cost of the copier from his final paycheck. That is a very expensive way to show off your underwear. Number 6. Picture a nice old-fashioned Christmas at Grandma's house. Everything is decorated perfectly. On the coffee table, there is a beautiful crystal bowl filled with dried flowers, cinnamon sticks, and orange peels. To a normal person, this is potpourri. It's air freshener. It's there to make the room smell like a pine forest. But one guest, let's call him Kevin, is trying to be a little too fancy. He sees the bowl and thinks, "Oh, wow! Grandma put out some artisan loose-leaf tea blend. How chic!" Without asking anyone, Kevin grabs a handful of these dusty, perfumed wood chips, throws them into a mug, pours boiling water over them, and takes a massive sip. Here is the thing. Potpourri isn't food. It is soaked in synthetic perfumes, essential oils, and fixatives that are definitely not FDA approved for consumption. Kevin doesn't get a relaxing herbal experience. He gets a chemical burn in his throat and the taste of Glade plugins stuck in his mouth for a week. The night ended with a call to poison control because Kevin brewed a cup of toxic waste. If it's in a bowl in the living room, guys, it's probably not a snack. Number 7. Speaking of cooking fails, let's talk about the rookie mistake that happens in thousands of kitchens every year. The plastic stuffed turkey. Cooking a turkey is intimidating. It's a big bird. If you've never done it before, you might assume you just unwrap it, season it, and throw it in the oven. But big turkey companies love to play a little game called Hide the Organs. They put the neck and the giblets, the heart, liver, etc., in a little plastic bag and shove it deep inside the cavity of the bird. Novice cooks don't know this. They season the bird, shove it in the oven for 5 hours, and wait. About 3 hours in, the house doesn't smell like rosemary and thyme. It smells like a tire fire. That little plastic bag has melted. It is fused with the meat. It has become one with the turkey. When they pull it out to carve, they find a glob of molten blue plastic inside the rib cage. The entire turkey is ruined. You can't just cut around it. The fumes are in the meat. So the main course goes into the trash, and everyone eats mashed potatoes and sadness. Always check the inside of the bird, folks. Always. Number 8. Now, let's get a little darker. This next decision is just pure negligence. I'm calling it the secret vodka bottle. We all have that one uncle who likes to drink a little too much at family gatherings. But this guy wanted to be sneaky about it. He didn't want the family judging him for taking shots at 2 p.m. So he had a brilliant idea. He took an empty water bottle, or worse, a colorful bottle, that used to hold a kid's fruit drink and filled it with straight vodka. He leaves it on the coffee table and goes to the bathroom. Enter a thirsty 5-year-old. The kid sees a bottle of water or juice, grabs it, and takes a massive gulp. Chaos ensues. The kid starts coughing, crying, and spiraling. The parents freak out because their child smells like a distillery. The ambulance gets called because poisoning in kids is serious business. And the uncle? He has to explain to the police and his angry sister why he turned a fruit shoot bottle into a Molotov cocktail. If you need to hide your drinking, maybe just don't drink. or at least use a flask that a toddler can't open. Number 9. Moving on to logistics. Transporting gifts is stressful, but you know what makes it worse? Storing them next to hazardous liquids. This is the trunk of doom. This guy was driving home for Christmas. He threw all the beautifully wrapped presents in the trunk of his car. But he was also a bit of a slob. He had half-used cans of wall paint and a jug of frying oil rolling around back there from a previous project. He didn't secure them. He thought, hey, they'll be fine. He takes a sharp turn on the highway. Clunk. The lid pops off the paint. The cap flies off the oil. For the next 2 hours, the gifts are marinating in a mixture of latex paint and grease. When he arrives at his parents' house and pops the trunk, it looks like a bomb went off. The iPad is soaked in oil. The nice sweater is now bright blue. The wrapping paper has dissolved. He ruined Christmas before he even walked through the door. Clean your cars, people. Friction is real. Number 10. And now, let's talk about technology meeting reality. Virtual reality headsets are a popular gift, but they're also dangerous weapons when used near Christmas trees. Here's the scenario. The grandkids gift Grandma an Oculus Quest. They put it on her head. Okay, Grandma, we're putting you in a skiing simulator. Grandma is amazed. She sees the mountain. She sees the snow. She forgets that she is standing in a living room. She forgets about the walls. She gets really into it. She tries to take a sharp turn on the virtual slopes. In the real world, she swings her arms wildly. Smash! Her right hand goes straight through the 65-inch 4K TV screen. $1,000 down the drain. But she loses her balance from the impact. She stumbles backward and falls directly into the Christmas tree. The tree goes down. Ornaments shatter. Grandma is tangled in lights, wearing a VR headset, screaming because she thinks she's falling off a cliff. It is absolute carnage. If you're going to use VR, maybe clear the area of expensive electronics and spiky decorations first. Just a thought. Number 11. Drones are cool. They are fun gadgets. But they're also basically flying lawnmowers with cameras attached. Most instructions explicitly say, do not fly indoors. But Dad doesn't read instructions. Dad thinks he is a Top Gun pilot because he played a flight simulator in 1998. So it's Christmas morning. The living room is crowded. There are people, piles of wrapping paper, and fragile decorations everywhere. Dad unwraps his new quadcopter. He says the famous last words. I'm just going to hover it for a second to calibrate it. He turns it on. The sound is deafening, like a swarm of angry bees trapped in a tin can. The dog starts barking. The cat's eyes go wide. Dad pushes the throttle up. The drone lifts off, but because it hasn't connected to the GPS satellites yet, it's unstable. It starts drifting. Dad panics. Instead of cutting the power, he tries to steer. The drone shoots left and decapitates the crystal chandelier. Glass rains down on the appetizers. But the drone isn't done. It ricochets off the wall and dives straight for the cat. The cat, now fighting for its life, leaps onto the couch, right where Mom is sitting. The drone follows. In a split second, the propellers make contact with Mom's freshly styled holiday hair. If you have never seen a drone motor catch hair, it is instantaneous. It winds up tight against the scalp in a fraction of a second. The drone is stuck to her head, buzzing and pulling. Mom is screaming. Dad is trying to turn it off, but getting his fingers chopped. The cat is destroying the curtains. The result? The drone is broken. The chandelier is broken. And Mom? She had to get the kitchen scissors. She spent the rest of Christmas Day with a bald patch the size of a tennis ball on the side of her head. Dad is currently sleeping in the garage until further notice. Number 12. From accidental destruction, let's move to intentional destruction. This next story comes from the world of sibling pranks. I call it the Fortress of Solitude and Broken Phones. We all have that one brother who thinks he is a comedy genius. He loves to make gifts hard to open. Usually, it's just a lot of duct tape or zip ties. Annoying, but harmless. But this guy, he decided to go nuclear. He bought his brother a brand new, expensive smartphone, a great gift. But he decided to wrap it in 10 layers of industrial-grade duct tape. Then he wrapped that in plastic wrap. And then, because he apparently has access to a workshop, he welded a metal cage around the bundle. Yes, he literally welded steel bars around the gift. Christmas morning comes. He hands his brother this heavy metal brick and a pair of safety goggles. Good luck, he laughs. Everyone thinks it's hilarious. The brother goes out to the garage to get the angle grinder, a power tool designed to cut through steel. He starts cutting. Sparks are flying everywhere. It looks like a construction site. The brother is sweating, trying to cut through the bars without hurting himself. The funny brother is standing there, filming it for TikTok, feeling very proud of himself. Finally, the grinder slices through the last metal bar. The cage falls apart. They peel back the melted, scorched duct tape to reveal the phone box. They open the box, and there it is. The brand new phone, sliced cleanly in half. See, an angle grinder generates a lot of heat and vibration. And when you're cutting blind, you don't know how deep the blade is going. The blade had slipped right through the tape and sawed the phone in two like a magic trick gone wrong. The laughter died instantly. The funny brother's smile vanished when he realized he just destroyed an $800 gadget for a joke. Now, instead of a cool gift, the brother has two halves of a paperweight. And the prankster owes him a massive apology and a lot of money. Number 13. And finally, we have the king of all bad decisions. This is a story about trauma. It's the Grinch home invasion. Social media has ruined parenting. Parents see these videos where a dad dresses up as the Grinch to steal presents, and the kids scream and everyone laughs. So, this dad decides to do it. He buys a cheap, terrifying Grinch mask and a green suit. He waits until the kids are playing peacefully in the living room with their new toys. He bursts through the front door, screaming, running around and throwing presents into a trash bag. Here is the problem. His kids are young. They don't know it's dad. They don't know it's a skit. To them, a green monster has just broken into their sanctuary and is robbing them. The younger kid, who is maybe 5 years old, hides behind the sofa, sobbing in pure terror. That's bad enough, but the older kid? The older kid is 7, and he has a fight-or-flight response that is 100% fight. He sees a monster attacking his family. He looks down and sees the heavy iron fireplace poker lying on the hearth. While the dad is busy dramatically laughing and stealing boxes, the 7-year-old goes full Braveheart. He swings that iron poker with all his might and connects right with the back of the Grinch's head. Thwack! Dad goes down like a sack of potatoes. He is out cold. The mom runs in from the kitchen to find the Grinch unconscious on the floor, the little kid screaming, and the older kid standing over the body like a warrior protecting his village. Christmas ended with a trip to the ER for a concussion and stitches. The police actually showed up because the neighbors heard the screaming. Imagine explaining to a cop that your son knocked you out with a piece of iron. because you dressed up as a Dr. Seuss villain to traumatize them. The dad is fine, physically. Well, if that collection of disasters didn't convince you to just stay in bed until January 2nd, I don't know what will. We learned a lot of valuable lessons today. We learned that art class is sometimes code for hotel affair. We learned that vacuum cleaners are not ash eaters. And we definitely learned that if you dress up as a monster and break into your own house, you should probably wear a helmet because your kids will defend the fortress. But now, I need to hear from you. I refuse to believe that these are the only holiday horror stories out there. What is the worst gift reaction you have ever seen? Has anyone in your family ever destroyed a TV, a drone, or a marriage on Christmas morning? Drop your story in the comments below. I read all of them, and I'll pin the one that makes me question humanity the most. If you enjoyed watching other people suffer, which, let's be honest, is why we're all here, please smash that like button. It really helps the channel, and it might just save a turkey from being washed with dish soap. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode of Bad Decisions. Keep your drones grounded, keep your receipts, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.